Jenny from Just Being Me, and you're listening to the Learning to Love Yourself podcast, the show that inspires you to put yourself first.
Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness. Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness.
My very first book, Just Being You, is out soon. It's a guide for anyone who's tired of people-pleasing, second-guessing themselves, or feeling like they just don't matter. Inside, I share the tools and shifts that help me rebuild my self-belief. Because when you shift your self-belief, well, that shifts everything. If you want to know when it's coming out, I'll drop a link below and you'll be the first to know. Blame, what it really cost me, and them. I'm Jenny Field, self-belief coach. Blame. Yeah, blame was one of my biggest traps. Whenever something hurt me, my first instinct was to look for who was at fault, because it wasn't me. At the time, it felt protective. If I could point the finger at someone else, then it wasn't on me. I didn't have to sit with the shame or the responsibility or even the discomfort of looking within. But over time, I started to notice what blame was really doing. Not just to me, but to the people around me too. For me, blame gave a quick hit of relief. I could say things like, it wasn't me. If they hadn't done that, then I'd be fine. They made me feel this way. And for a moment, just a moment, it felt easier. But the reality was, it came at a cost. Because every time I blamed somebody else, I handed over my power to them. You see, it was always their fault. If that was the case, then only they could change it. And guess what? That left me stuck. Stuck waiting, hoping, and resenting. I stayed in the same cycle, replaying the same story, the same ending, over and over again. And I built walls instead of bridges, because blame pushes people away. It creates a distance, and what I really wanted was closeness. And worst of all, it stopped me looking at the one thing that I could actually change: myself. And it didn't just affect me. When I blamed others, they felt attacked, even if I didn't mean it that way. They shut down, or they threw the blame back at me. And before I knew it, we were in a tug of war, both of us wanting to be right, but neither of us moving forward. So blame damaged my relationships. It eroded the trust. It taught people that if something went wrong, I'd point the finger rather than acknowledge my part in it. And looking back, I can see that blame was often just a cover-up. It was easier to say they made me feel this way than it was to acknowledge what I was really feeling inside. And sometimes it was also a way of seeking attention. What I was really saying was, see me, hear me, I need something. And I realized that I didn't feel seen or heard in this world, but that's a story for another day. But gaining the attention through blame meant sympathy, and that never filled the gap, because what I really needed wasn't sympathy at all. It was self-responsibility. And everything shifted when I learnt the difference between blame and responsibility. Knowing that responsibility didn't mean taking all the blame, because that's just blame turned inwards. For me, responsibility became about noticing my feelings without saying anyone else created them. I did. Asking myself, what can I actually do here? What is in my control? And choosing to respond instead of reacting automatically. When I started doing that, I realized that I was back in control of myself. I stopped waiting for others to change and started creating the change for myself. And the ripple effect was huge. I'm a big fan of the ripple effect. My relationships felt safer, and instead of putting people on trial, I sat and had conversations. Instead of demanding they fix my feelings, I showed them that I could be responsible for myself and still be connected with them. That shift changed everything. Not just my interactions, but my energy. And people sensed it. They became more open, more trusting, and more willing to meet me where I was. Now I see that I use blame as an armor. But really, it was a cage, because it kept me trapped in the same story, disconnected and powerless to change. So taking responsibility for myself became my freedom. It was about owning my part, letting others own theirs, and refusing to live life as a battle of who's at fault. So now, whenever I catch myself slipping into blame, I take a deep breath and ask myself, what do I really want here? Blame or change? Because I've learnt the hard way. One keeps me stuck and the other one sets me free. Thanks for listening today. If you'd like to know more, you can find all the links down below. Oh, and don't forget to press subscribe so you can catch the next one. See you soon.